The sun may be rising here, but the sun is setting on Season 9 tonight. We've been to Asia, we've been to North America, we've been to Europe, 6 different countries, and it's led us to right here, the final round of the CSRL Season 9, and it's at the Misano World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli. Carl Handwork joined in the booth by Joe Sullivan. Joe, this is a newer track to iRacing, newer track to probably both of us out here, and it looks like it's going to be a fun little track for these drivers out here, but I mean, you want to end the season on a good note. These drivers are already looking forward to the Season 10, but you got to finish this Season 9 first, and you want to kind of finish it on top.
Yeah, I mean, definitely want to finish the season strong and carry whatever momentum that you can from this last race or these last couple races that some of these guys have had here, and carry that momentum into next season, as we've pretty much got both of our champions here locked up for this race. No, I mean, it's not a total lock, but barring something crazy happening, won't be any kind of a last race of the season drama here for both championships. But like you said, you know, that's kind of out of reach. But let's put up a building block into next season. You know, maybe this track will be on the schedule next season. We don't know that yet, but still, plenty to be learned out here. A new track, a new opportunity here. So lots to be learned, and try to build up for Season 10 next season. Yeah,
and now's the best time as any. If you're out there, if you're a racer looking to get in for next season, now's the time to get in there. You know, get in touch with me, get in touch with Joe, or get in touch with Jim over here at CSRL. Get yourself into season number 10, because every season that we broadcasted so far has been phenomenal. I mean, it's, yeah, the championships may be locked up by Craig Jancic, excuse me, in the Pro Division, and by Christian Ortiz-Torres a little bit closer in the M, and certainly Bryce Reiner still has an outside chance, but he's going to need a major mistake there from Christian Ortiz-Torres. But the racing has been great all season. I mean, we've had different winners. It hasn't just been, you know, kind of one winner dominant. You could maybe not so much say that in the Pro. I mean, I know Craig's got a ton of wins, and realistically, I mean, you know, Ortiz-Torres kind of coming a bit out of nowhere with a bunch of wins this season as well. But they all haven't been, you know, kind of clear-cut. It hasn't been, you know, races where guys have been checked out and leading by 20, 30 seconds and just been kind of dominating and making it a boring race at all.
No, exactly. Great seasons from both of them. I mean, what a season from Christian, really. I mean, just unbelievable racing that he's provided here for us. And like you said, each race there's been something different and something, some drama or some, you know, some guy coming kind of from nowhere and having a good finish. So it's that, I mean, continue to put on good racing here, and I mean, I'm sure Season 10 will be no different.
I want to send one more shout out to our series sponsor this season, and that is Skyler Vickroy. And if you want to jump on board with him and ride around for one last time here in the 28 Corvette, you can check him out at youtube.com/@AVOVOOM Gaming, or check him out on his Twitch with the handle AVOVOOM. I'm really looking forward to this. Again, it's a new track. I haven't even got a chance to get out here and get some laps in here. And I mean, I guess I have run some laps on, you know, some superbike games, you know, like MotoGP and things like that. But obviously, MotoGP and these GT cars are going to handle just a wee bit different.
Yeah, I actually got in some laps last night, and I got to tell you, Carl, this is really a fun track. You know, I kind of was kind of cutting it in half, I guess, because you got that long, I guess, backstretch or side. I don't know what you would call that,
or something. Yeah, exactly.
Know, yeah, long stretch there with a little bit of bend in it, but it's full throttle through there. So, but the first part of the track was real flowy, and you know, it had everything you kind of wanted here. And just kind of a good vibe to this track, good flow to it. You know, you got the like I said, the breakup in the back part there, but it's pretty fun. I think there's going to be some close racing here. I think we'll be on top of each other here a little bit, and trying to find the places to pass. That's what's going to be interesting for me to watch here and see where these guys have that opportunity to pass, because I was just out there by myself just getting some laps in. So I don't know if they're going to use that backstretch as a passing point, or if they got some other ideas here in store for us.
Well, we'll bring up the standings as we mentioned, and again, it is Craig Jancic on top by quite a bit of a margin here heading into the last race, 25 points, and I don't think mathematically he has a chance at losing it here tonight over Colin Winslow. Over in the AM class, Christian Ortiz-Torres does have an 11-point lead over Bryce Reiner and 21 over John Nominger. I think Nominger, excuse me, Nominger mathematically out of it, but Reiner, still has an outside shot if Ortiz-Torres has some issues, but let's bring in our most likely our champions here this season. Certainly not official. We got to run this last race for sure, but we got Craig Jancic from the Pro class and Christian Ortiz-Torres from the AM class. And Joe, why don't you go ahead and start off with our AM class? Possibly, maybe soon to be champion here, Christian Ortiz-Torres.
Hey, Chris, you got a copy?
Yeah, copy. Do you guys copy?
Yeah, we got you. Hey, last race this season, barring some kind of major failure here, you got your sights set on a season 9 championship here. What's been today like, and how are you going to get through today in this race and this track and navigate all of that to kind of come away with champion here tonight?
We're going to try to do the same thing we've been doing. We're going to try to just looking out for anything that could hurt us and try to stay away from that, especially on lap 1 and 2.
So, are you going to be just leaning on more on the I guess cautious side? Just finish. Like that's the number one goal here tonight. Just finish, and then whatever happens.
Yeah, definitely finish. Definitely keep our pace and not. I guess not go below our pace and try to also not to go beyond the limit.
Are you pretty comfortable with this track? I know it's a newer one here, but have you been getting in some laps? Have you got any races in here before? What's the confidence level of this track here tonight?
A lot of practice on this one, so we'll see how the race goes with people around.
Yeah, this looks like we got a little over 20 some cars here tonight, so plenty of cars out there tonight to try to navigate around here. So we'll see how you do, and good luck, and maybe we'll be talking to you afterwards.
Yeah, sounds good. Good luck to everybody.
Yeah, well, we got you in here. We'll we'll switch over to Craig Jancic now, and Craig, pretty much a banner year, exactly how you want to draw it up here to walk away with back-to-back championships. You have 6 wins coming into tonight out of the 9 races. With the pole here tonight, it looks like it's just a foregone conclusion. You got the pole here tonight. If you get the win, you'll have an average start and an average finish of exactly 2 for the season. Pretty hard to top that, and pretty hard to compete with that, let alone the potential 7 wins if you can grab the win tonight. So, how does it feel here tonight? I mean, I don't know what the records are for wins or poles in the season, but you got to be chasing down some records for sure.
Career season without a question, man. It looks like we just wrapped up quali here officially on the pole. Never raced the Mustang before, kind of coming in here with a little bit of fun in mind. I think the Mustang has the whole formula to be a pretty good car for next season. So I want to try to get a little bit acclimated in advance here. Use this as a bit of a testing session to try to propel momentum forward. And so far so good. This track has been pretty fun in preparation. We were so ready about probably close to 2 months ago to run this place, and then iRacing had all those issues, it's been a while, but we got up to speed pretty quickly. And our golden pony, as I'm calling her, she looks real good, and I hope that she can stay in front on that here, man.
So, I mean, obviously you got the championship pedigree. You win your 2nd championship last season. Now you're looking to go back-to-back, and again, pretty much a foregone conclusion. You got the back-to-back wrapped up here, but it never gets any easier. You look at the stats this season, it seems like it does, but, I mean, the drivers that stick in the series get better. You got some new guys that come in that are good as well. What did it take to just, really put in an absolute complete season here this season?
As the bar keeps going further, everyone keeps pushing it further. I keep reaching after it too, and just keep making sure that I'm keeping myself stretched out to keep reaching for it. Right? We got Winslow came in here. This is his first full season, start finish, I believe, and he's pushed the bar way up for us. Civ is, Mr. Clean, Mr. Consistent. He's been a factor for many seasons now, but he's really in his groove now. Herbert, starting P2 here, not to spoil your qualifying order, but these tracks that the Porsche is really good at, he's really good at them. And it's really good to have people keep coming in, keep pushing that bar further along, so that I can keep chasing after it too. I love that about racing, and I'm really glad the CSRL is able to do that.
I'll certainly be looking forward to you chasing after win number 7 here tonight, making a 70% win percentage on the season, and it's a pretty epic bar. Whether that's a record or not, I don't know, but good luck to you out there. We'll, I'm sure, have a chance to talk to you afterwards. I'm sure you're going to be putting it all on the line out there. Really nothing to lose to try and grab that win number 7. So good luck out there, and then maybe we'll talk to you after the race.
Yeah, we love that, man. Thank you.
All right, that is going to do it for our pre-championship interviews here. As again, pretty much foregone conclusion. But these drivers are ready to go. They're out there on the track, and we'll get everything up here and ready to go for you as they are pacing out there. We'll try and get a quick rundown of the qualifying results, and going to start over in the pro class. And it's Craig Jancic on the pole, Herbert Pineda, Colin Winslow, Jonathan Neal, Siviani Madrigal, Peter Moeller, Tyler Torville, Frank Misano, Skyler Vickroy, Devin Young, your top 10. Then Jim Dutton, Renan De Lima, Dan Herrera are your pro class field drivers. Over in the M class, Bryce Reiner, no surprise, on top of the boards. Christian Ortiz Torres second. Jim Herrick, John Nomier, Todd Torville, your top 5. William Burrell, Jay Little, Ian Wilson, Stefan Price, and Fozzie Vizillo, your top 10. And it is 10 cars here in the AM class tonight. But we are ready to get these drivers underway one last time. It's kind of bittersweet, Joe, when we get to these last races in the season. And we know we're going to have, at least a week or 2 off, but by all sounds of it, it seems like we're going to be picked up for a 10th season, and I'm certainly already looking forward to it myself. Whether we're on board for broadcasting or not, we certainly wish these drivers and of course Jim over there, the man behind the curtain, Jim Dutton here at CSRL, all the best wishes for another great season.
Yeah, like you said, bittersweet. It's we've been following these guys around for 3 seasons now, and gotten to know a lot of these guys and their driving styles, and some of these guys who've just continued to build their racing program and their career and try to get better and better. And we've seen that with the results that they've been putting in. So it's been fun and bittersweet to watch this one in here tonight, but excited for this race and what these boys can do here with this new track.
Coming around the final corner right now, and just waiting for Barney on the left-hand side to wave that green flag. And we are racing here at the season finale at Misano. Already 3 wide and looking to almost go 4 wide there for a second. Dive to the outside, and we've got a pass for the lead as a side-by-side. Pineda still battling with Jancic, but Jancic's going to hold on. Winslow on the outside is going to retake second place as it got mighty sketchy, mighty hairy. Insert your comments here. Wow, what a start to this race.
These boys, they know how to put on a show, don't they? Holy moly.
Oh, I mean,
the champions are pretty much set, but there's still a race here to be won, and by God, they're going to do everything they can to get up there and put on a show here.
I mean, I know the storylines of the championship may be written for both the sides here, but we almost had plenty of storylines there in turn number 1. Looks like, I mean, you take a look at it here, 3, it was 4 wide there for a second. It looks like Devin Young is the only one that is going to get tagged and have a bit of a rough start here in the 15, get spun around. I mean, great job by all these drivers working their way around him and very little contact, so it looks like we're going to get away pretty much scot-free here on lap number 1, just a couple corners left. This track is not exactly small, Joe. This is a pretty sizable track, and it's still 40 minutes. He's still going to get through the entire 40 minutes of a race, but when the laps go this long, you get to that last lap, and it's a little bit longer if it's a close race, and it just adds to that tension.
Yeah, got one loose there, Pineda. Yeah, this track is very fast. Like I said, I got some laps in here, and it is big and long, but it's really quick. A lot of these, quick turns here are high-speed turns too. So it's a really fast track, and I found myself having quite a bit of fun getting around here and like learning the track.
Take a look here. Looks like in turn 1, Skyler Vickroy having a bit of an incident here. Actually, in turn 2, just getting a little hot. And does a good job, locks it up, and just gets it up off the track. It's painful. I mean, we can't say it enough. It's just how much discipline it takes to just do that. I mean, he's given up so many positions, so much track time, so much chance at a great start to this race, great finish to the season. But he's done the right thing. He could have easily pulled back out in front of somebody and killed them, killed himself in the meantime. It's what you need to do if you want to get respect from the other drivers, and really if you want to finish the race, you got to do smart things. So great thing to see there. And again, you can check out Skyler Vickroy and see maybe what exactly happened from inside the cockpit there by checking him out there at youtube.com/AVOVOOM Gaming, or check him out on his Twitch with the handle AVOVOOM. Greg Jancic leads this thing, but Colin Winslow certainly does not want to just let him walk away and win yet another race. He's sticking with him right now. Jonathan Neal back there in third. Peter Muller, Tyler Dorville going to make up your top 5 in the pro class. Bryce Reiner is 6th place overall. John Nomier 7th place overall. So for once, Reiner doesn't have 6-7 pro class cars in between him and the next M class driver, as Nomier right there 1 second behind him. I don't want to say the man's name that is in third right now. We talked about him last week, and it didn't work out too well. So number 40, we'll just say that, is in third place right now. Ortiz Torres back there in 4th. Maybe not exactly the start that he wanted. I mean, Joe, if he finishes 6th or worse, I'm not sure how the drop races come into play, but it's not what he wants to do. He wants to come away with another podium here to secure a spot.
Yeah, so unofficially, I think that's our math there. He's got to get 6th or better. So, he's in that zone right now. So he's in that area, and I think he's just wanting to be maybe extra cautious here. I mean, we've already had a couple of guys have some issues here, and definitely doesn't want to be around any of that. I mean, he's was at 8th back in 13th overall right now. So he's got a lot of cars in front of him right now too. So he's just really trying to keep that thing on the track and stay out of any kind of trouble. And if these guys in the top 3 here are in front of him have any issues, then he's going to be there to capitalize on it, like he pretty much has done all season long.
I want to send a shout out to all of our viewers out there. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe button. Wanted to touch on one in particular, and unfortunately, we may be reaching out possibly at the wrong time here. We'll take a look at what happened to William Burrell earlier here in the 21 Lamborghini, and just gets a little bit of a run there, tries to go to the inside, and unfortunately spins it, but no harm, no foul for William. He's going to get himself back on the track, but I want to send a shout out to Chris Burrell, as we've been told she watches every single week, and we certainly appreciate her tuning in here, watching her son William trying to get around this track. And again, it's a new track. It's a little tough for everybody out there, I'm sure, just kind of getting used to the the newness of this. And it's not one, you go to Spa, you go to Daytona, tracks that you've had numerous laps on. It becomes a little bit more muscle memory here. Drivers kind of really need to get after it. But shout out to Chris, shout out to everyone out there that has been tuning into us all season long, and make sure you give these guys a thumbs up. They certainly deserve it, certainly deserve to get their league out there to show everyone how good of a job they do, and really start to generate the buzz for season 10 already. But we've had a pretty good clean race. I mean, for a new track here, Joe, just really 2-3 incidents max here in the first couple laps, and maybe I spoke just a little bit too soon. I said the number, and I apologize to Mr. Herrick, as it looks like he has the same issue here that Wayne Burrell just had. It's that inside there. It seems like that you almost want to run a little bit more towards the middle of that corner. Is that inside getting a little sketchy, but Jim will get it back on the track and back going and lick his wounds for yet another night, as he is now back in that 7th place in the M class. But it is Craig Jansick on top of the boards in the Pro, Bryce Reiner on top of the boards in the AM. And, I mean, what can you say? I mean, we've talked about the dominance over and over again here from Jansick. You look at the stats, and it just seems like he's just cruised this entire season. But go back and watch the races. Joe, it hasn't been that easy.
No, it hasn't. I mean, he's been, had to fight up a couple battles, from Colin, from Jonathan Neal last week. They battled real hard. That was, the first part of that race was fun to watch them two go at it in the rain like that. And then, Siviani's been up there. Peter Muller's been up there. Peter Muller's won here this season. So, I mean, it's been fun to watch these, guys battle with Craig. And, it really kind of shows you how important qualifying is, to be able to have that qualifying speed and be able to start up front or near the front. I mean, his worst qualifying spot of the season was like 6th. I mean, and we were wondering what was going on with Craig. So it just goes to show you that the qualifying pace that he's had and how important it is. When you can get out there and have a clean track. And I know you've touched on it before in the season where you kind of want that, you need that carrot out in front of you to kind of help push you. But and I'm kind of the same way in that regards. But Craig just, there's the different mindset there to be out front and still just hate your spots and hit your marks and put in some laps. Once he's got out in front here, he's had a couple of battles this season, but he's able to just win races at an unbelievable rate.
I mean, over a 5-race span, over a 3-race span, it's amazing to have an average start of 2 and an average finish of 2. But I mean, he's locked it up now for the entire season. For 10 races, his average start is 2nd. I mean, at worst, he's got to pass one guy on average just to get to the lead each race. It makes it so much easier when you're starting up there that well in qualifying, and the results show for it. If he wins tonight, his average will be a 2 for the season. You can't win a championship against a guy that is that dominant on the finishes. But again, there's so many guys in this series. I mean, you see Winslow right here. Yeah, Jansick has got the pole. He's led every lap. He's looking like, he's got a chance at number 7. But it's not easy. He's not even a second ahead. He's only 0.8 of a second ahead right now of Winslow, who's doing anything and everything to keep with him right now, because he would love to grab the final one of the season and just maybe make Craig think a little bit. Okay, well, maybe Winslow found a little bit here at the end of the season. I got to push a little harder in season 10. Yeah, anything that you can do to rattle the champion's cage before he's even crowned the champion is big.
Yeah, and I mean, we're 7 laps, on lap 7 here, and Craig's only got 0.8 of a second lap. I mean, that is like a 10th per lap, and like a 10th per lap on a a minute and a half lap here. So I mean, that isn't that much. I mean, the margin, by the end of a race seems, if it's like a second or 2 seconds, seems like a lot, but really over the course of a 40-minute race, that is, I mean, just unbelievable. I mean, it's just not even that much when you really kind of just boil it down to that kind of a point. I'm saying? It's just the margin is thinner than some of these results have shown.
I got a little thinner there as we were watching. Got down close to a half a second as Winslow certainly finding a bit of pace here and close it down once again to about 3/4 of a second as we complete lap number 7, and we're a quarter of the way through this final race of the season. It's a beautiful track here, Misano. Again, I haven't had a chance to get out there with a GT3 car yet to test it out, but it's a really good looking track. And whenever you have these times of day like this, you get the sunrise, the sunset, I just feel like it really makes the track pop. It really makes the cars pop, the paint schemes pop. When once that sun just kind of crests up over the horizon and really shines off of this track or shines off the cars, it makes everything that iRacing puts into their simulator here just beautiful.
Yeah, it really does. And there's so much you can do with the graphics on these things, and I'm definitely not the one to do any of that part of it, but just some of the videos that, you know, I've seen of the way some of these guys can, you know, turn up their computers and the graphics on these things, just, it is beautiful. It's almost like you're literally there in person watching this and hearing it.
Well, clearly, Jancic and Winslow have put in some of the time here at Misano, and they've gotten this track down as, again, Winslow closed in a little bit more, and even Jonathan Neal there in third, doing a great job. The one that has been with them the last 3-4 races, whenever he's been able to show up, Savini Madrigal, not exactly having as good a time. He's in the Mustang as well, but started in 12th place overall and has lost 7 positions. He is back there in, actually, sorry, he started in 5th place overall. He's back to 19th right now overall, and in 12th in the pro class. So this is not exactly the finale that Siviani would have.
No, and I think, I don't know if something happened, but I think I didn't see him come to the pits. So I don't know if he came in and if something happened, or if he just came down to get some fuel. But yeah, it's he's definitely in a new car here tonight. Like I said, this Craig, maybe he's thinking the same thing, trying something new for next season. So
he did make an early pit stop. We've seen that happen before, so maybe that's what the case is. But this is him leaving the pits right here. It's saying that he crashed. So we'll take a look and see if anything happened here that we might have missed. But I'm not seeing anything there. I think it's just from a little bit slow, but that very well could be. He does take the early pit stop. I did miss that there on SDKS. He pit on lap number 2. I didn't see any kind of issues for him before that, so it might just be taking that fuel early and going to run this thing out. So hopefully we'll see Siviani start to climb up those boards once pit stops do start, but getting a little bit closer, a little bit spicier here at the front. Now a half a second, less than a half a second, less than 0.4 of a second. Winslow all over the backside of that number 3 here for the overall lead.
yeah, and I was able to get some laps in here, and I just jumped in the Porsche because I thought this would be a good track for the Porsche, and I wonder what kind of car selection would be for these guys here tonight. But then just because I feel like, you know, the Porsche is always like a nimble little car, and just looking at this track, it looked like it would be set up for a Porsche, but it felt really good. So it felt real nimble and still had the speed down the straightaways. I mean, probably not as much as you'd like, but it just seemed like it gelled really well. Colin's he's getting right up on there. He's gonna put the pressure on Craig here.
At this point, if you got a free figure on your wheel or wherever you have your light switch, I'm flashing this leader as much as possible. I mean, it may not do anything to rattle Jancic's gauge, but if it just makes him look back once, it makes him take his eyes off the road just for a split second, I'm doing anything and everything I can to rattle his gauge up there. But catching is one thing, passing is another, and it's been tough this season. For all of these drivers, once they have a position up there in the top 3, top 5, it really just about takes a mistake for anybody to have any kind of passing opportunity. But could have some lap cars coming into play here very soon, as the leaders here coming up on the back of Todd Torville, who had a bit of an issue earlier. We'll take a look back and see what happened to the 911 here. Just looping it right out of the final corner. Some pretty hard impact there, losing the front end. So that's what these leaders will be coming up on here very soon, and it is mighty close. You see the Torville car right in front of them, but no distance in between first and second right now. Quarter second separating Jancic and Winslow. This is what we wanted to see for the final race of the season. We've got a battle on our hands.
Yeah, Colin's just been slowly been 1/10, 2/10 of a lap faster, and he's finally there on the bumper of Craig. We'll see how they navigate this lap traffic, and like we talked about in the opening, I wondered where these guys would pick and choose on where to pass and how long you got to like set up a pass here. Because a lot of it is pretty tight, but it's fast also, so I wonder if like the only really passing section is into these heavy braking zones.
Well, that's where it seems like Winslow kind of has a bit of an advantage. It seems like he's really closing in on those braking zones. The getaway from the corners, the exit of the corners is where Jancic is kind of getting it back and pulling back away a little bit as it creeps back out to over half a second now right away. Winslow gets a great exit out of the corner as they will get around Torville here. Jancic doing everything he can just to break the draft, going to the final sector of this track. And there are certainly passing opportunities here. You see the nice long straightaways feeding into some of these corners, but you have to kind of send it a little bit if you want to try and make the pass. You have to really commit to that inside line to try and get it done. But I mean, Winslow's doing everything he can just to kind of hang with that 3 right now. You wonder if Jancic is holding back a little bit, maybe trying to control this pace, keep the tires on. But I mean, as much of the track he's using up, I'm not sure if he's saving anything there. He just wants to stay up in front.
Yeah. I hope we can jump on board here with Colin and go for a lap around here and just get these guys, get these people watching here an idea of how this track is and the flow of it. That double right-hander at the end is really fast. It's a lot faster than you think. I mean, you're carrying so much speed through there. But this first part of the track here is kind of a little bit slower,
But you see in the beginning there, Colin really sacrifices the first part of the double right-hander to get all the way on that right-hand side and really launch him down this long straightaway here. And you see he gained a good amount of time by doing that. I guess I should be speaking too loud because I know Jancic, I think, sometimes has the broadcast on while he's racing and maybe giving him some insights here. Maybe we shouldn't be showing on board here with Colin Winslow showing some secrets here. But these guys are good friends from what we understand and help each other out a lot as well. So good battle here, and I'm sure we're going to see this battle all the way until at least the pit stops, which, Joe, pit stops have kind of been a big deal this year.
yes, they have. I mean, it's been damaging to some, and some they've reaped the rewards of it. So it's always I mean, just look at last week. I mean, Jonathan Neal was leading that race, come down to pit road. I mean, he had a little bit of a spin coming off on his outlap, but he lost quite a bit of time on pit road as well. So that kind of cost him a chance at a win, or at least a battle for Craig there to try to hold him off. But yeah, it's always a hot topic of getting these pit stops done cleanly and coming out. You know, because like you said, it seems like it's going to be pretty hard to pass here on track. So you want to do everything you can to try to get around somebody, and if you can do it in the pit lane, then hey, that's about as easy as fast as you're going to get on here.
Well, want to hop back here. We talked about him earlier. We've seen the little bit of a spin. William Burrell has got it turned back around and got it going the right way. He is now up to 4th place and at the AM class, so doing a good job battling back here. He's got a good gap until he gets to 3rd place. Christian Ortiz-Torres, who again has done what he needs to do. He's gotten around those drivers that are maybe pushing a little bit too hard, making some little mental mistakes here and there, and he's got his number 11 up into 3rd place, exactly where he needs to be to guarantee himself that championship. He may not be able to get the win done here tonight, but you know what? Maybe that's what Bryce Reiner needed. He needed a little extra pressure, that knowing that the only chance he has is to win here tonight, because knock on wood, we're halfway through this race. We haven't seen that 24 sideways around the wall yet.
Well, I just can't really say. I mean, we're halfway through this race and we haven't barely even mentioned Bryce. So, I mean, from recently, that's a very good thing. You know, I mean, we haven't had to. I mean, we mentioned that he's been leading and all that, but we haven't mentioned any accident, any kind of problem or anything like that. So, and I think what Craig said last week, hey, I want a 0x race. Just, well, I don't care where you finish, just go out there and worry about keeping it on track and doing what you can to secure that 0x. And
yeah, I mean,
I think if he does that, the results will speak for themselves.
I think this is the first time we've been able to show him for the first time on camera live, and not in a replay of showing him that, you know, something that he's done wrong. So it's certainly a step in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. And he's in the Ferrari here, so good car, good choice here, and just walking some laps here, and you know, like Craig already said, he's going to be in the pro class next year, and going to be adding you know, another driver to that, I mean, ever-growing pro-class field. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen next season already. I mean, so much is going to be changed, but there's going to be new battles on our hands to talk about and to watch unfold and see who can, you know, come up there and knock Craig off.
Yeah, as he goes for the three-peat, I mean, he's still got to worry about Winslow back behind him right now. But I mean, yeah, you run through some of the names that are in the pro class. You got Jancic obviously at the front. You got Winslow battling him hard right now. Jonathan Neal has certainly shown some speed. Peter Moeller, race winner. You got Herbert Granada, certainly can get up there in the mix as well. And even further back here tonight, you got Siviani Madrigal out there. Salvador Duran when he's out there in the race. And, you know, oh, by the way, you got, you know, last season's amateur class winner, Ayers, who did not exactly have a great first season here in the pro class, but we know he's got speed to at least get up there and battle inside the top 5 overall, as we've seen in his amateur class winning championship run. And then you'll have the guys from this year. I mean, you're going to have Christian Ortiz-Torres getting moved up there. He may not, you know, compete for the overall wins, but if you know anything about Ortiz-Torres, he's going to find a way to just plug away and rack up some good finishes, and that's certainly something that's going to keep him up there in the mix as well. And then Bryce Reiner, I mean, we've seen he's got out-and-out speed. He's just got to put a whole race together. I mean, right now, currently running 5th place overall, top of the boards in the AM class. He's just got to come through. He's got to finish out those races, and like I said, he's still kind of wet behind the ears when it comes to iRacing. He's still new to the service, still getting used to some of the nuances and getting away from making some of those mistakes, which we've all done. I mean, I don't think I know I can say from experience that I didn't just hop on iRacing and was fast right away. It took me months to figure it out. So Reiner, in my opinion, way ahead of the curve in regards to the speed, as a big move into the pits there from Winslow. He's going to be the first one to dive in here. We'll see if the short pit works out for him. I would not be surprised at all if you see Jancic in here this next lap.
Yeah, you know he's going to be following suit. It was going to be who does it first, and the other one's going to be the total opposite. We'll see if Colin can get the pass done on pit road.
Another one we haven't talked about, unfortunately, and right there, not to hop over, but yeah, right there, that's exactly what can happen, as now Jancic's stuck behind the 196 Jay Little, and that's exactly what Winslow wants to see. I know he can't see it, but that's exactly what he wants. But as I was mentioning, we mentioned all the drivers that are in the pro class 2 seasons ago. The man right here, Renan de Lima, in the 82 was your amateur class champion. He hasn't had the go that he's liked here so far in the pro class, but we know he's got some speed as well that can get it done. So hopefully after a couple of seasons, maybe he's got his feet wet here a little bit, he can try and turn it on for next season. So another one certainly look forward to. This man, he just wants to have a good finish, and we do got to give him his due, getting to show him on the screen here over there at 40 Racewear. And certainly if you're looking for the best racing gloves for your feet, check out 40racewear.com. And it's been a rough season here for the 40 of Jim Herrick, but it's going to come to an end here tonight. So for better or worse, he can just wipe this slate clean after tonight and hopefully look towards season 10. But looking at the live here now, Ray Jancic in the pits. Jonathan Neal going to go around one more time. Now the question is, where does Jancic feed out compared to where Winslow is? As you see, Winslow all the way back there in 10th position because all these pro drivers staying out there for one more lap.
Yeah, we'll see if he can't come out here in front. Let's see, where is he at on track? He's at 19, okay. He's coming around the left turn right now.
Coming through the final corner, and it's a long exit here at Misano.
Oh, he's
as he will get him. You see Jancic still coming out of pits right there, but he's still going to go around the final little kink here. And it's going to be close. Actually, Jancic is going to get out in front.
Wow.
And right alongside, this could be Winslow's chance. He's got cold tires just coming out of the pits. He's going to force Jancic to the outside. And now he's got a chance if he can cut back in to have a good run out of the corner. And a terrible camera angle as he jumps out of here, but you see him side by side. And Dan Morera just kind of caught in the middle of everything. I don't know. I'm not sure what to do with my hands right now. I'm sure it is what Dan's saying.
Yeah.
And it is still a battle, still very close as Winslow now tries the outside.
And cross him over.
Not going to be able to get in there to cross him over. He's going to stick to the outside and try and force his way in there. And now back to the draft. He looked like he was maybe going to shoot to the inside, maybe throw a little bit of a move, but Jancic is still right there. And now Winslow peaks again. And this is when Winslow's got to make his move. He's got the fresh, maybe not fresh tires, but he's got the warmed up tires. They're a lot stickier than Jancic right now, but Jancic may have weathered the storm. The question is, that bringing anybody else into the mix as Neil is in the pits right now. We'll see where he feeds out, how close he is to this battle, if he's able to reel him in at all, as he is just coming out right now. Your leaders will see him on the left, passing by right there, so they will get back ahead of Jonathan Neal by a good amount. But man, this possibly could be the closest we've had for two guys battling for the lead going into the pits and then back out of the pits.
Yeah, that exit of pit road was very deceiving there. I thought Colin was going to have him, but that little chicane there, it really slowed him up. So that view that we have there was a little deceiving. I thought he was going to have him by a long margin, but Colin had to get through the first couple turns there, and then Craig was able to get up there just in front of him. And like you said, Dan was just stuck there, like didn't want to, cause any disrupt or be the deciding factor of the outcome here, but did a heck of a job of kind of just holding his line and then letting these guys kind of race while he was there too. So,
well, you take a look right there at the pit lane time, and you see when they come back together. When Jancic came out of the pits, it was tenths of a second at best separating the two of them. But you look right there, 0.8 of a second for the total pit time for Jancic compared to Colin Winslow. If they had the same pit time, Winslow was easily in front of Jancic. So that's how big getting every ounce of speed, getting into the pits, out of the pits, making sure you hit your marks going into your pit stall, everything really, really played out for that 3 to still retain the lead here.
Yeah, you look at those numbers right there, only 2 guys in the 50-second marker. Your leaders of both classes right now, Craig and Bryce. Everybody else, 51s, 52s, and 54s. So, I mean, that's what I've, there's like I said, there's levels. You have to master a level, then you go up to another level, and you get good on a track, but then you got to get your pit road stuff down. And that's another thing to kind of master, and all this stuff adds up to tenths, and then when you start adding up the tenths, then the tenths start getting into seconds, and then your seconds faster. So it's just a little bit small things that that will separate you from the rest of the field here.
So Saviani Madrigal was able to work his way back up to 7th position, but he's still down 3 spots from his starting spot of 5th. So he'll work his way back through at least Pineda and Torville. But Bryce Reiner having the race that he needed to here on the last night. It's just unfortunate for him that Shorty Store is doing exactly what he needs to do. He's done the same thing all throughout the season. He's been able to grab quite a bit of wins here this year, and to the shock of us, and certainly to the shock of Christian, for how many wins he's been able to rack up. But he's been Mr. Consistency and looking like just putting in another consistent performance here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you've been on here quite a bit and on iRacing and doing leagues and this and that. I mean, have you recall the moment where a guy has just like no league wins, and then in one season just piles up 5 of them, and 5, 6 races, and just a 10-race season? I mean, it just is pretty remarkable to me. I mean, just coming from, he's been in the league, so it isn't like it's just a newcomer coming in, but a guy that's been in the league, and then just to have a season like this is quite an anomaly.
I think we may have seen it a couple seasons ago in the Core GT series where I believe it was Parks de la Cruz ended up winning the championship in his class with 0 wins on the season, which is a very, very remarkable feat. But, I mean, you know, Ortiz Torres, again, yeah, no offense to him, but you never feel like he's the fastest guy in the M class. He never seems to be going out there and just, you know, oh, he's just grabbing the pole, or he's, you know, he's up there running speeds that are, you know, a couple tenths faster than everybody else. He's just consistent, and consistency, more often than not, will at least get you in the mix for the championship. But he's gotten some help from Bryce Reiner for sure this season, where Reiner could have ran off as many wins as Jancic has at the top, but he's had a ton of issues that's put him back and has given not just the championship away, but given away a bunch of wins along the way to Christian Ortiz Torres. So he's been beneficial. There's no doubt about that, but you have to still be in that spot to be able to benefit.
Yeah, and you still have to, you know, perform. I mean, you still have to get the job done, and like right there, I mean, Christian Ortiz Torres right there, like he just lit, you know, Skyler Vickroy around him. It's a different class. Position means nothing really, but he let him go and did it so for like without losing a whole lot of track time either, right? So, you know, that's another thing. If you're gonna let somebody get by you, do it, but do it to where you're not losing, you know, seconds. You're losing a tenth or two, and you know, it's not that too many people have, you know, been passing Christian. He's been doing a lot of the passing all season, you know, by passing guys on track, or they're having their own problems. So yeah, it's just,
you're right. I mean, there's a huge skill level when it comes to being, you know, whether you're in a slower class altogether, or, you know, in this case here, they're in the same GT cars as everybody else, but you know, the AM class is not battling the pro class, you know, per se when it comes to the championship points. So like you said, that position on track means nothing, but there's still an art. There's a skill level to where and when you let guys pass you. I mean, I've seen it so many times where, you know, maybe it's in an oval race where a lap car is fighting or not letting a lead lap car by, or, you know, in a multi-class race where the slower car in front is being a pain, and the only thing that does is it slows both of you up. Yeah, it's going to slow that faster guy up, but he's going to get more frustrated. He may send a pass in there. You know, if you're that slower car and not letting him by in the correct time and in the correct position, you can end up getting taken out by a frustrated driver, and it's just as much your fault as it is theirs. You gotta be smart about it. I'm not saying pull off to the side of the road and let them by. You look for the right opportunity, and if you let them by in a place where it's predictable and in a way that they can understand and keep their pace, you're going to keep pace too. You're not going to lose as much time in that transfer of letting that car by. I mean, you see it in Formula One, where, you know, there's team orders for drivers to swap positions. They don't do it in just, you know, any certain position. They do it in the spot where they feel they're not going to lose as much time to each other. As spin right back there. Devin Young has not been having a good final race here as well. I've seen him spin a couple times now, but Joe, 5 minutes left in the season, and I think it's about time for one last time on the season, for at least a minute or two, that we crank these drivers up and give everyone out there in Sierra Nation a little love here.
let's do it.
What better time to rejoin live as we've got some major battling going on here, and Winslow is tired of looking at that back of the 3. He gets a little rough there with Jancic, and now is going to try and hold him off as Jancic going to try the crossover here out of the corner. Winslow sends it a bit wide, but you know, damn the off tracks at this point. He's looking for a win, but this is not going to be easy for either driver. They're going to battle this thing all the way to the end. Neither driver has anything to lose here at this point. We got 2 minutes left in the season and 0.2 of a second separating first and second.
Yeah, Colin was done looking at the back of that golden pony. He's like, let me get you a little bit loose. As we were still in the love to hear it section, we immediately had to come back and watch this unfold here.
Check and take a look back here real quick. Show you exactly what happened here into turn number 1. Gets a little testy there, a little tasty into turn number 1. And it looked like Jancic was going to hold him off, but Winslow just keeping it right tucked onto him. And that's Random making the pass right here. Take it back live now as Winslow trying to check out. We've got a half a second separating him, and you see Barney there on the right side. White flag. 1 more lap to go here at Misano. Your championships look to be locked up with Jancic. Going to be winning back-to-back here in the Pro Class. Ortiz Torres, unless he has a last lap situation, he is going to be your AM Class champion. Reiner looking to grab the win here on the night, but this is where our eyes are locked in. Is it going to be Winslow for the win here tonight? Is it going to be Jancic picking up win number 7? Your call is as good as mine here, as you know, Jancic is not going to take that too lightly. It's the last race of the season, and if he can get to the back bumper, he might see a little bump run as well.
Yeah, he'll definitely you know, get up on Colin and make it racy here. So you got a little bit, almost a half a lap left here, and see if he's got anything left. But Colin was usually faster in the second part of this lap, so if Craig has anything, he's gonna have to find something he hasn't been doing yet. So
there you go.
Straight away will help.
Flashing at the back of Winslow right there, trying to get in his head. Exactly. It is on cue. All over him, trying to get to the inside here. Gonna send it. Close to contact, but not gonna happen just yet. Only a couple corners left. The last hairpin to the right. And now you got left to finish this thing. And that could have been the last ditch effort there for Jancic, and indeed it was. Colin Winslow is going to get the better of this season's champion. He's going to walk away your winner on the final night of the season. Winslow first, Jancic in second. What a battle to finish this thing off. As these guys were battling, Neil was closing in. He maybe needed a little bit more battle a little earlier to get in the mix, but a good job finishing in the podium spot. Bryce Reiner is going to finish 5th place overall, and he's going to win tonight in the AM Class. John Nomiger, haven't really talked much about him. He was just nice and easy, steady as you go here. He's going to come home in second, and probably got to look back at the season and think about what could have been. He certainly showed some speed early on in the season, but it's not going to be enough for him. He's going to finish, I believe, in 3rd in the point standings. Ortiz Torres crossing the line. He is going to be your unofficial amateur class champion, and certainly well deserved here tonight. Getting a little smooch there from Bryce Reiner after the flag, but what a race, Joe. I mean, would you expect anything less on the last night of the season than an epic battle to the end?
No, we've seen it building here, and you know, Colin just staying right there on Craig, and we wondered where, you know, where would the pass come from? You know, what point of the track? I was thinking maybe coming a little bit later than when he actually did get it done, but and Colin was able to, you know, get into the back of Craig and get him loose, get into the turn 1 there, and was able to get him off his line and then make the pass a couple turns later. But what a great finish here. What a great way to finish this season. Good racing all season long.
Siviani Madrigal again, not having the night that he probably wanted to, finishing back there in 6th place in the Pro Class, but celebrating there with your champion Greg Jancic, and you see just the camaraderie with a lot of these guys here, all celebrating, all doing a bunch of burnouts here at the end of this race. It was a fantastic season, absolutely fantastic season, and we're going to go ahead and round up our top 3 here, bring them in for their final interviews. But Joe, I mean, it's bittersweet. The season is over here. We're going to crown our champions, but I mean, all hopes look to season 10, and hoping, you know, whether we're a part of season 10 or not, I think one way we'll be a part of it, just to keep an eye on these guys, because it's been fantastic for the few seasons that we've been part of them.
Yeah, I mean, whether we're broadcasting or I'm definitely gonna be tuning in. If I'm not broadcasting, I'll definitely be watching. Whoever picks them up or whatever, I'll definitely be coming in and watching these boys race, because they put on a great show, and I've learned so much about, you know, coming into this road racing with, you know, very little experience or exposure to a lot of these tracks and cars and combinations of everything. So, but in the 3 seasons that we've been here, I've learned so much just from, you know, asking drivers questions, watching these guys on track, and being up here in a booth with you and learning from you as well. So, I've just gained so much from being a part of this league.
Well, we got our most of our drivers in here, just waiting for one more, but we'll go ahead and get started with our interviews here tonight. And we'll get started with our 3rd place finisher in the AM class, and we talked to him before the race, but it's time to talk to him again. And that is the 11 of Christian Ortiz Torres, finishing in 3rd here tonight in the AM class. But more importantly, Christian, I mean, unofficially amateur class champion. I mean, obviously the wins throughout the season have got to felt great, but you got to feel even just more special after the season that you put together here.
Yes, today, pretty exciting race. Definitely, we're gonna give it all we had, and Bryce and John were pretty fast today. We couldn't even catch up to them, but kept it consistent and away from any trouble, and managed to get a position today.
So talk about your thoughts looking back at the season here. Obviously, grabbing your first win, grabbing a bunch of wins, and grabbing the championship. I mean, what is it? You know, can you put it into words? Do you have any words for it so far? I mean, I know you've kind of lived through it for the last 10, 12 weeks now, but I mean, looking back, do you have anything to say about it?
I mean, for me, it's just been a slowly learning and getting more adjusted to races, and for me it's just been an learning experience, and definitely always was looking at the guys on top and trying to learn from there and trying to catch them in the races. And I mean, that was difficult. Luckily, with consistency and mistakes that happened in the race, we took those opportunities and were able to get good positions throughout the season.
Well, absolutely well-deserved for all your success this season, for both the individual races and certainly for the championship. But got to talk real quick. Next season, you join the big boys. What's the outlook? What's the preparation going to be before season number 10 starts?
Well, that's definitely exciting. To be able to join the pro, definitely it's going to be another learning experience. It's going to take a lot to get to their level and keep up. Hopefully, we learn more, and we can see if we can get top positions sometime.
So, I mean, I know you haven't obviously had that experience yet, but I mean, you run with these pro class drivers. We've seen the last couple champions here with both Ren de Lima and Randy Ayers step up. They've had great seasons, winning their AM class championship, but they've kind of stepped up and haven't had good seasons since they moved up. What do you look forward to? What are you going to try and do to make it a little bit different for you to try and have a little bit more success than they did?
I mean, consistency and just keep learning whatever any of the guys in the pro place can give you as advice, and just look for advice and learn more and just have fun.
Well, that's certainly the good words for all drivers out there. Don't be afraid to talk to others and try and figure out what they're doing differently, because one little thing could change your whole outlook on racing and how you tackle corners or throttle inputs, things like that. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask. So congrats again on the tremendous season here for you. Congrats on the championship, albeit unofficial yet. So before we let you go, one last time, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Shout outs to my partner Brooke for letting me go through this season and put a lot of hours in the sim, and CFG, everybody in CFG that has taught me the skills, and just seeing them out here too. Skyler, Brandon, Meissner, shout outs to them. Shout outs to my family in Denver and everybody here in the league, and you guys that throw a pretty awesome show.
Well, we appreciate that for sure. We'll let you go celebrate with everybody on the team there, and hopefully we'll be seeing you next season, and hopefully you see some more success in that number 11.
Yeah, let's go.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, and your unofficial amateur class champion, the 11 of Christian Ortiz Torres. Second place here tonight is going to be the 44 of John Nomier in the AM class. Joe, why don't you go ahead and take John?
Hey there, John. Come away with second here tonight. We didn't really see too much of you on track. We were watching some other battles going on, but you just, slowly and methodically got yourself up into second. And it seems you had too much for Bryce tonight, but he seemed like be on another level, finishing fifth overall here tonight. But you do pretty well here yourself tonight. It's a new track on iRacing, but seems to be a good one for you here.
Yeah, I spent a few laps. I think I'd managed to close the gap down to Bryce to about 0.6 at one point, and then got a slowdown coming through the final corner. And by the time I served it, I was 2 seconds back, and then kept trying to push to get close, and managed to cook the tires and watch him walk away. And then was kind of just by myself going, putting in laps. Until Frank there at the end caught back up and made that interesting, and then he ran out of fuel.
Well, a lot of people are no stranger to you here on CRN, but this is your first season in this league with CSRL. And I mean, I don't know if you consider it successful or not, but you're going to probably come away top 3 in points here, and you got, I think, 2 wins on the season. I think, is that right? So, but
sounds right.
I mean,
Yeah.
a pretty good season. What's your, looking back, what's your thoughts and thinking here on your first season here with these boys?
Well, it's a great group of guys. Generally everybody gives room when needed. So I mean, everybody's very respectful, and it's a lot of fun to race. Like I said, maybe for Bryce and I, AM may not have been the correct class, but between Christian and him and me, I feel like we put in some. Made it interesting, at least for the AM division throughout the season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you three were only ones to, I think, win in the AM class. So definitely the class of the fields here and in the amateur class. But you still come away. I mean, one season, your first season here, come away top 3 in points. That's pretty good, pretty successful. Will you be back for season 10, and will you make that jump up, or will you stay here in the AM class?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'll be moving up to pro along with us and Bryce and Christian there. So definitely have, I think towards the end of the season, I'm starting to figure out a few things. So maybe with a little bit of practice, I'll have something for Craig and Colin maybe next year. We'll see. Or not next year, next season.
Yeah. Well, all right. I mean, throw another name into the hat in the pro class. This pro class is just getting beefier and beefier, Carl. So, but good season, John. You come away second here tonight. Good way to finish the season and like you said, build on some momentum for next year. And but before we let you go, anybody want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I mean, for you and Carl in the booth doing the broadcast, I know it's fun time for y'all up there, hopefully, and for Jim and everybody here, Colin and the guys that put on the league, it's we really appreciate it.
All righty, well, congrats, and I'm sure we'll see you next season, or see you shortly on CRN here.
Yeah, hopefully, definitely tomorrow night.
Yep, there we go.
All right, that is your second place finisher here in the AM class. the 44 of John Nominger, finishing first here and doing it for once a bit flawlessly is the 24 of Bryce Reiner. Bryce, we finally got to show you on screen and not in replay. We got to show you live, and we didn't show something that you were doing wrong. So, what was it about the track here tonight? Obviously, a newer track here in Misano. Not too much track time for a lot of these drivers out here. But was it some wise words of wisdom from Greg Jancic saying stop screwing around and just try and get out there and get a 0x race and see what happens?
I mean, yes and no to your point on Craig. I didn't spin out. I just got a couple off tracks, which isn't horrible. I kept it clean all race. When it was round 3, I think that was my first time on the track, and then we had that whole DDoS attack. So coming back to this track for the last race, I didn't have much time. I got out of work probably 30-45 minutes before the race started, so I put in 2 practice laps and that was it, and then straight to quali. So learned a little bit. Definitely the start, I knew probably Skyler was going to take a 3 wide, which he did. I was just trying to keep it clean through turns 1 through I think 5 until you get to that first backstretch, and from there on it was just keep it clean and let the tires come in.
So, third win here on the season. Certainly a successful season. Maybe not to the success that you'd like to see. Obviously, you'd like to come out here and have a chance at that championship. You did have a slight outside chance. Needed some help from Ortiz Torres, which is just it's hard to ask for. He's so consistent out here. But do you feel like the season was still quite a bit of success out here?
Oh yes, for sure. It was a blast. Regardless where you finish, what position. Wrecks, no wrecks, whatever. It's a blast. I loved it out here for my first season. Wish I kept it cleaner in the last couple races, which, that's on me, but kept it clean this race. That's all that mattered. And it was fun. Christian did a great job pulling it home P3, I believe, and got the championship, I believe. I think. You can double check that.
We're in the same boat.
Sure he did.
We're in the same boat. We just say unofficial. It just makes it easier.
No, it was definitely fun. Last week took a toll. As soon as I pulled up that broadcast, and I think it was Joe said, "Oh, what's going through my mind?" I was in disbelief. Going back to last week, it irks me. It just killed my momentum to coming into this race. But, I can't complain. It was fun while it lasted, and came back and pulled out a W, and that's what I wanted to do.
Well, you got a top 5 overall, too. So, I mean, we've talked about it multiple times. You have some really good speed out there, and you're arguably the fastest guy in the M class. You just didn't get it done points-wise. But looking forward to next year. You're going to be moving up, joining the big boys next year in the pro class. Do you feel like a couple more tweaks, so a little bit more track time on here, and maybe giving these guys up here a run for the money for the overall podium?
Yeah, definitely. I forgot what I was going to say, but going back to being in the pro guys, I did rewatch the broadcast and I heard what Craig said, and I kind of figured it was coming, but at the same time, maybe I wish I could stay down one more, get the championship, and move up there. But I don't think Craig's going to let that fly. So, or all the admins,
or all the M-class drivers. You might have a target on your back if they can catch you.
No, but it was fun battling the pro guys today. John was up there a little bit, then he fell off. I don't know what happened to him. But battling Tyler, and then I was inching my way to Peter, but I just couldn't get it within like that 3.5 seconds, which is no biggie for me. I just kept it clean and loved racing and not spinning out. That's my number one takeaway.
I mean, I don't think you get to carry that fresh car over to next year, but you'll take it either way. Well, congrats on win number 3 here in the season, a successful season, a second place in the points. Well, I'm sure we'll see you tearing it up here with the pro guys in no time here in season number 10. But before we let you go, for one last time, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, I want to give you guys a big round of applause for this season. It was a blast coming in here talking with you guys after each race. You guys do a phenomenal job. The admins too, who put on this league, Jim, Peter, Colin, Craig, Renan, all of them, they do a phenomenal job keeping it together. Keep getting guys out here having fun. I want to thank Digital Sim Sports as well for tagging me along this year once I got into iRacing. I want to thank Fanatec as well. I want to thank Ferrari, because apparently this race, I think, is the only Ferrari in the race. So I did a job for them. I want to thank everybody, friends, family, all that who watched. And can't wait to get after it for next year, or next season.
And it's kind of a travesty having the only Ferrari in the field at a race in Italy, guys. That is a very disappointment to all of you guys. You should be ashamed of yourselves. I don't care if it may not be the best car out there. We're in damn Italy here, okay? I mean, let's get it right. Well, congrats again, and thanks certainly for the the nice words and the kind words. It's been a pleasure up here in the booth all season, and looking forward to next season. It sounds more likely than not that we'll be on board with you guys again, and certainly looking forward to it if that's the case. If not, we'll be watching. We'll be keeping close tabs on all you guys out there to see how everything turns out. So congrats again on the season. We'll let you go celebrate, and good luck next season.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Can't wait.
That is your winner here tonight, the 24 of Bryce Reiner here in the AM class. Now we'll switch over to the Pro class. Third place here tonight, Joe, is going to be the 23 of Jonathan Neal.
Hey, Jonathan, yeah, back-to-back podiums to finish the season. How about that, huh? That's a way to build some momentum into next season.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I'm pushing hard. I really want to catch a win out here with these guys, and just a little too far away today. But ultimately got a little lucky with the touch after getting or the touch up front after getting bullied on the start. But yeah, I'm happy to get back up there. I wasn't too far away, but just
we were talking about that. If I think you needed about one more lap of Colin and Craig battling each other, and you were going to be there to pounce on them and make it a 3-car battle there to finish this season off and finish this race off. You were you were right there lurking.
Oh yeah, I saw the time slowing or getting closer, and I was just hoping they would get a little rougher with each other, and maybe I could compromise or capitalize on that. But it's all right. I know these guys are quick, and they respect each other, so it's awesome for Colin to get a win and see Craig be beaten for me. So I know it's possible. So I just gotta pick get a right track combo, right car combo, and I think I can be there.
Well, Colin didn't wreck him, but he gave him the bumper, so he was listening to you from last week.
Yeah, I heard about it. So
that was fun to watch, and watch them battle it out like there. But you were there lurking, and you finished the season off with back-to-back podiums. And by the sounds of it, the Pro class is going to get a lot more harder next season, as hard as it already is. But what's it going to take for you to continue with these podiums and maybe make a run at Craig to knock him off and stop his three-peat?
Well, I guess I need to find a little more time to practice. And this track, I've never raced. This is my first time racing this track, so this was really kind of a joker card for me. And but ultimately, if I can just dial in my setup, maybe get force feedback smoother, practice a little more consistently with trail braking and just keeping corner speed, and I think I'll be there right with him as long as I don't lose the draft, and then I'll try to pick a moment. And hey, maybe I can sneak a first place podium and a quali, and then I can hold him off for a little while. But that's the plan. And I'm sure I'll catch some luck on my side one of these races.
Yeah, it seems like once you get to this spot, and you guys are just so close on speed that it's just a tenth here, a tenth there, and you could the roles could be reversed. So the margin of error, like I talked about earlier in the race here tonight, is so thin that just a little bit here and there, and you guys can be on top of each other, or even just switch roles from the third. So it's not much, but finding that not much is the difficult part, and that's what separates the the champions from the rest of the field. So it just finding that out a little bit. But like you said, I think you can, if you can put in the time and get a little bit more and find, tweak your setup a little bit more, and you could be right there with them.
Yeah, I think so. I just inching. I'm inching my way towards it, but they're definitely on the limit, and they stay on it. So it's a very high risk reward when it comes to keeping up with them.
Oh yeah.
I tried. I liked the Lambo today. It was the tires felt good. It just felt like, yeah, I guess that balance of power was a bit down today, and yeah, I just couldn't inch up towards them and stay in the draft. And the start was a little crazy. It was I was trying to be a little ballsy out there and kind of pinch them in, but it didn't really pay off for me. So, but I got a little bullied out there, and then they ultimately made a mistake in front of me, and so that gave me a P3. So I was happy to take that and say see you later. But but yeah, hoping I finished pretty good in the championship. I missed 2 races in the beginning, but yeah, happy to show up here and just stay consistent and get some good races in with these guys.
Well, you finished the season, back-to-back podiums, you get 3rd here tonight. Before we let you go, anybody want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
We'll go with William Burrell again. Thank you, bud. I appreciate all the good times, and yeah, keep training with me, and we'll get you up here to the pro class here soon. And yeah, Simcraft. Thanks to Colin and Craig and all the other competitors out here. Thank you guys for putting on a good show. I really enjoyed the broadcast. I can't wait to watch this battle with Craig and Colin. So this will be it's a good finisher, I feel like, for the end of the season. So thank you guys.
Well, we thank you for the kind words, and let's go celebrate this and get ready for season 10 next season.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right.
See you guys.
We'll see you.
That is your 3rd place finish here tonight in the pro class, the 23 of Jonathan Neal. And yet, I do want to give a shout out again to William Burrell. I'm sure Chris was out there watching and proud that he was able to come home in 4th place after that early spin. 2nd place here tonight is going to be your pro class champion. I mean, I know it's technically unofficial yet, but I think it's pretty official that the 3 of Craig Jancic is your winner. But man, just champion or not, you couldn't get it done the final night. You had nothing to lose out there, and you still couldn't get it done. That's pretty pathetic.
I know, right? Gosh, short of driving through the guy 3 times. I don't know what I could have done.
I mean, he drove through you once. I mean, at least you could do is pay him back a little bit.
Yeah, but look, I drive the number 3 not for Austin Dillon. This is an Austin Dillon hating household, so we're not going to participate in anything like that.
Yeah, but you drove the number 3, and you were the one intimidated. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that.
I know.
Oh, well, you tried. You tried. I seen the flashing on the last lap. Yeah, you tried. You tried intimidating. So
for sure. And without as an oval guy, you feel like the front bumper could come out whenever you want. And I try to reel it in a little bit here because I know road etiquette is so different, and I don't want to gain that type of reputation per se. But all in good fun. I mean, I don't think Colin and I were separated by more than 4 car lengths the entire night. So however it boils down at the end is honestly fine with me. If it was for a championship, you would have seen a hell of a lot more out of me, but all in good fun. We still got to work on forward rear tire management because I don't know if you guys saw how much twitching and squirming was going on in this Golden Horse at the end of this race, but holy smokes. I don't know what I could have done differently, to be honest. I was managing tires the whole time. I tried to keep them at a 7/10 of a second gap, and I still couldn't even do that. So I just relied on the horsepower under the hood, and we had a crazy straight line speed advantage on him, and still couldn't even really get it done. So no biggie. Just happy to get the one that counts.
So Joe talked about it. That one of the things that I kind of look forward to is I need a rabbit out there. I need something that I'm chasing, whether it's a car ahead of me, whether it's a lap time or whatever it is. I need something that I'm kind of shooting for. Everybody kind of drives differently. Do you feel like you drive maybe a little bit more focused when you have somebody like Colin that close to the entire race? Does it add more pressure to it? Like how does it change? Having less than a second lead the entire race compared to just being able to walk the field to a 10-second lead.
I think I'm in the minority for this. I hate having something in front of me because it distracts me from what I'm looking at. So when I fell to second, I kind of felt like my day was going to be over there. And that's why I fought so hard on the pit out lap to keep him behind me. I felt the same way in those moments. And I knew I'd give him a shot because of the straight line advantage I had at the end. But I'm not a chaser. I'd rather be focusing on my clear marks because I feel like I could in a way, like my eyes are what actually steers the car. There's enough of muscle memory built into where my eyes are looking that's what I'm aiming for at this point. And it feels weird, like that's completely interrupted when there's a multicolored Porsche sitting in front of me, right? So I'm not the rabbit chaser guy. I think that that's an interesting difference that I carry against most road people. And I'm okay with it. I think it makes me defend better. I think it makes me a better driver in the long run. And I'm okay with that.
Well, you were denied your 7th win of the season, and you were denied the perfect 2 across the board for average start, average finish. But I mean, a damn good season, as we mentioned so many times. We talked to you here after the race, in the podium, let alone on the top step of the podium. So another great run out here tonight. A great run, obviously, for the season. Yeah, you might not have got it done tonight, but I mean, you put up one heck of a battle, and it was certainly fun to watch the entire race. So one last time, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, thanks to you guys, Core Racing Network, the best in the business. I mean that sincerely. I wish you guys luck with your event this weekend. If I wasn't going to be completely out of town in a different state, I'm kind of mad about it, to be honest, because man, would I have a good time there. But good luck to you and good luck to everyone that participates in that this weekend. I look really forward to season 10. I had all my numbers screwed up. Season 10 next season with us here at CSRL, and the continued core partnership is going to be amazing. So thank you guys. Thanks to all the viewers out there as well. My mom, my dad, my girlfriend Anna, Aunt Sandy. Thank you for watching every week, everything that I do. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Thanks to all the competitors out here. As I said in the pre-race, let's keep shoving that bar further and further and further. We all get better when we all test one another. We all push one another to succeed, and that's camaraderie in and of itself. And I can't get enough of it. I eat that up. And thanks to everybody, corporately that supports me individually. Team Conti Sim Performance, Digital Sim Sports, Studio 3, Martin PC, Simagic. It's hard to explain to people sometimes what we do for hobby as sim racers, and it's moments like this that make it feel like you got a ground to stand on when you say, yeah, I sit in my chair and I steer my steering wheel for fun, but I don't move when I do it. So yeah, it's pretty rad. I love it.
Well, you certainly deserved the second championship here in a row and third overall, but it's not going to be easy going for a three-peat. A lot of competition already in the pro class, and a lot more that's going to be coming up there, and give you a battle for that third in a row. But take some time in between season 9 and season 10 here. Celebrate with the team, celebrate with the boys, celebrate with your family, and we'll see you back out here on the track for season 10.
Yes, sir. I can't wait. We'll talk to you guys soon.
That is your second place finish here tonight, and unofficial, yet official, pro class champion here.
The most unofficial official ever.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I'll put my money on the line. That he is the champion here tonight, but not the winner here tonight. Joe, your winner for tonight is the 19 of Colin Winslow.
Colin, you got a copy?
I got a copy.
Hey man, how did that feel?
Yeah, it felt great. Not necessarily because of the win, but because the racing was just insanely fun.
Yeah, you guys were, I mean, like Craig said, you guys were not even more than 4 or 5 car lengths separated all night, all race long. And we went to the Love to Hear It segment, and we seen the move happen, so we had to jump right back into the live action and kind of recap what had just happened, and you got the pass secured. So talk us through those last couple laps there, and what the process was of how to get around somebody here, and how you were able to pull it off there.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the last laps go, I mean, it's so car dependent around here. The Mustang, he was so good on entry, being that front engine, where he was struggling on exit, and I was the exact opposite in the Porsche. The fronts on the Porsche were just so gone by the end of that race. The other struggle was how fast that Mustang was in a straight line. I mean, the American horses were pushing, like even in the draft, he was gapping me. So it was, at that point, I was like, I really got to hope for a mistake, and might have pulled a little bit of a NASCAR on him, but
love it.
We'll take that. I actually did give him the position back for a split second, but I had to take advantage of the move at least a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was that last battle there. I mean, was just an epic way to finish this season, this race, and you were able to get around him there, and it was fun to watch those last two laps and watch you secure that win. And coming from from last week, getting not able to finish the first turn,
getting demolished.
yeah, and what a way to come back and beat Craig here and get a win here to finish the season off.
Yeah, I mean, I've had such a terrible luck this season, so it does feel good to finally have a race where everything goes my way. So yeah, the start was crazy. The pit exit race when Dan was still out on track, hadn't pitted yet. And then the end battle. I mean, everything was so much fun this race. So what a way to end the season. It really caps off how great this season has been.
Yeah, it looked like just to touch back on that for a second. When you guys were pitting, you pit a lap earlier, and Craig had caught some lap traffic. It looked like it stalled him up just a little bit. So we thought maybe that would cost him quite a bit on track, and you were going to be able to come out in front of him. But you had a little bit of difference in the pit time there. It was about 8/10 of a second difference on the pit time.
Yeah, that 8/10 was exactly what Craig said. He had about got costed behind lap traffic. I messed up my pit entry just a little bit, so that's probably where that 8/10 came from. I did pit earlier because I felt like in clean air I might have been a little bit faster, and I did feel faster. I just messed up my pit entry too much. But I mean, look at the racing it produced, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. And you guys, I mean, Dan was there and just was trying not to be in the way, but trying to,
and part of it is that I was trying to use Dan to get a draft down there, and then his breaking point was a little bit sooner than mine, so a little bump there. A lot of contact this race, but luckily no harm, no foul. So.
Yeah, you were able to come away with the win here tonight. You were really everybody has, the bad luck and the good luck. Looking back on the season, you had a lot of bad luck. I mean, just from last week, and then from some times with some lap cars not going your way. Just want to probably maybe forget this season and move on to season 10 and with all the new challenges that's going to bring with the new drivers. And, somebody's got to knock Craig off.
Yeah, I mean, I think tonight was important because it shows he is beatable. He's beatable on pace. So, Craig's really good, and he's going to be hard to beat. But it's going to take a season where I don't have so much bad luck, for sure.
Yeah, and rattle his cage a little bit.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Maybe pull in some more NASCAR moves on him. Well,
yeah. There you go.
We'll block this part of the
interview
out so he doesn't hear it unless he's listening.
Yeah. No. See, and that was the thing too that was going through my mind was like, how hard do I want to race Craig? Because chances, like, I'm not racing him for the championship tonight, so how much difference is that going to make versus, you know, how we race each other next season? So that was definitely something going through my mind as well.
And is it like, I mean, a little bit different racing team since you guys are like, you know, such good friends, you know, so, but you're also really, you know, heavy competitors too. So what's the line there? Like, just
I think
don't do anything egregious.
No, I wouldn't say egregious, but on the track, the friendship kind of stops, right? Like, you know, we're still competitive, and we still want to get that win. So, you know, what's fair in racing, we're gonna take advantage of that. You know, if it causes a fight on track, that's fine, but we're still gonna be friends at the end of the day for sure.
There you go. That's you know, that's the way to do it, and that's a very important, you know, thing to say, and to be able to race that way is, you know, awesome. Like I said, we're friends at the end of the day, but, you know, let's go race and, you know, put on a good show and, you know, get better from each other, you know.
Yeah. And there was less on the line tonight, right? Like Craig had locked up the championship, and, you know, I was, you know, stuck in second, so. You know, it might be a little bit different if, you know, Craig and I were fighting for the championship tonight. You know, I might have not made such crazy moves to try and pass him.
Yeah, he did mention if the championship was on the line, he would have raced you a little bit different as well.
Yeah.
So, but it's the circumstances, you know, come into play there. But congrats on a win. Good way to finish the season and build some momentum to next season. And you know, hopefully you've got rid of all the bad luck demons, and season 10 will bring you the good luck and the good finishes, and maybe you know, put a show on for Craig and try to battle him and knock him off that top spot.
Yes, sir. We'll hope.
We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you next season.
All right, sounds good, boys.
That is your winner here tonight's the 19 of Colin Winslow here in the Pro Class and the overall. And just to touch back on what Craig mentioned, that we do indeed have a special event coming up this weekend, and unless something changes, both will be broadcasted right here on CRN. The first is going to be the Roar Before the Core. It's going to be a 1.5-hour race, multi-class, with the GT4s and MX-5, each having their own class, and then that is going to be on Saturday night. On Sunday is going to be the Core. It's a 3-hour race with GT3s, open setups. The cars that you're seeing out here, but they're going to be tweaked up here a little bit, and we'll see what they can do. All that is going to be at Road Atlanta, and all that is proceeded with Road America, one of those. And that's all preceded by the qualifying on Friday night. The drivers have basically all day to put in their qualifying times to set the grid, so it's going to be pretty awesome event. If you're if you're still want to get a part of it, there's still time to get in, and if you want to just tune in, it's gonna be fun. I know I'll be up in the booth for at least one of the nights, if not both of the nights. I'm looking forward to it. But we've got one more guy that we need to bring in here and talk to, and may not want to talk about his season too much. He was able to rack up one podium on the season way back round number 2 at Daytona, but Mr. Jim Dutton, welcome to the booth, and congratulations on maybe not yourself, but at least for the league, a very successful season.
So administratively, it's been fantastic.
There you go.
Personally, it's been a little trying, but that's fine. Quite honestly, I derive more pleasure from helping run everything than I kind of do from racing. I love administrative stuff. I'm kind of a geek that way. It's been great. It's like the numbers have been so good this season. Like this was probably the only race we had that was below 25 people, and that's incredible. Like including 2 rain races. Like how many leagues can say that? That's insane to me. So
absolutely couldn't agree with more. And it's really a testament to you, obviously, first and foremost, for putting on this great league, but for the drivers as well. There's so much you can get into when it comes to the drivers itself, that the drivers really literally drive the league. I mean, if they're enjoying themselves, they're going to promote it. They're going to try and bring in other guys in here. If you got some knuckleheads in there that are constantly causing trouble left and right, it's not going to be a good look. And you guys really don't have that. I mean, there's very, very, very seldom do we see any drivers bickering about this or that after the races. So I mean, it's clearly you're running things the way you want to, for sure, right now.
Oh yeah, no, it's been a dream. Also bringing on Colin Winslow and Renan de Lima they've been fantastic, and have complimented Craig as well. So it's I the team that I have with me is just, they're second to none to work with. Like, everything is so smooth, and everything gets done. There's no drama whatsoever. And they kind of keep me in my place too, making sure that we're making decisions that's best for the league. Also, they're really fast, all of them. The level of competition this season has just been nuts. It's so impressive. Like, I'm very happy to be able to facilitate this, but guys, teach me.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to bring up next. I mean, you talk about the size of the fields out here, the size and the gap of the pro class looking forward to next year. I mean, we've got already a lot of guys in the pro class. Obviously, Craig, back-to-back champion and three-time champion here in the pro class, but it wasn't exactly easy. And you look at it here tonight, Colin Winslow grabbing a win. You got Peter Moeller. You get so many guys already in the pro class that are great drivers. And now you're just going to be adding, at minimum 3 more. I mean, Reiner's going to be moving up. Ortiz Torres with his championship win going to be moving up. John Nominger already mentioning he's going to move up. The pro class is just going to be ridiculous next year.
Yeah, so we got to focus our recruiting on more entry level racers for sure, just to kind of fill out the AM class, or change the measuring stick by which we decide who goes where. This is the talk we've had, because right now we're probably looking at the pro class being 40% bigger than the M class, and we don't really want that. We want kind of an even split if we can have that. So
I mean, is there go ahead.
Sorry, no, continue.
I was going to say, is there any talks of relegation if some of the drivers in the pro class just kind of seem to overmatched in there, that you move them down to the AM class?
So, like, based on my season, I would like to move down to the AM class.
Yourself?
About it. No, but seriously, if somebody feels like they're overmatched and whatnot, we can look at it and move them down if need be. I'm not going to do that myself, because I know if I put more time in, I can get close. I can fight for podiums, maybe not necessarily a win, but certainly top 5s, I think. It's just a matter of putting a little bit more time in. That's just finding it, right?
Yeah, it's finding the time, and it's just like really, any sport. I mean, whatever you put in is what you get out. If you don't put a lot into it, you can't expect to get a lot out of it. I mean, some people just have that natural talent and can get in the car and put in less practice times than others, and some need to put in a little bit more time. But I'm sure one guy that probably won't mind the smaller field and getting rid of the guys like Reiner, Nominger, Torres is going to be Jim Herrick. I mean, a rough season. I got to talk to him. I know he's he's good friends with you guys in here, and sponsored the series last year, and even kind of coming on a bit as a partner this year. Jim won't mind, I'm sure, having a smaller AM class out there.
Yeah, probably not. I haven't talked to him in a little bit. He's been busy with a lot of other stuff too, so his focus has been on other things as well. So that probably has contributed to his season a little bit. But no, he's been fantastic to have in the league, and he's brought in a couple people as well, including Dan Morea, who is probably one of the funniest streamers I've ever seen. He's really good. So, but yeah, no, I hope he regains his focus as well, and gets back into it, gets his elbows out a little bit more. It'd be nice to see, of course.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get enough credit as league owner, as league admin, as somebody running the ship. I mean, I know it from experience. It's a very, very it's a tiring job, and sometimes it can get to the point where it feels like work. But when you have results like this, when you have a league like this, when you have turnouts like this, race in and race out, and throughout the season, it makes it all feel worthwhile. But you're in kind of a unique situation here with the league because you have the pro class, you have the AM class. The pro class drivers, they're not your top split guys. You go into these special events, they're not going to be in the top split. They're not 4, 5, 6K iRating guys. Your AM class is kind of the same thing. They're not your bottom split guys. They're guys that are kind of going to be about mid pack. So it makes recruiting to me that much more difficult because the guys in the pro class are very good drivers and they're very fast and some of them are going to be really tough to beat. And then you look at your AM class, you can see they're still kind of getting their feet wet. They're still trying to get an understanding of it, but they're also respectful. I mean, they spin out and they're either holding the brakes or they're making sure they're getting off the track and waiting until they can rejoin correctly. And finding a mix of those drivers to get on the track together and to get in a league together, I mean, you kind of bingoed this thing so far.
Yeah, for sure. So we preach a lot of the, rejoining, getting on your brakes if you spin out and such. And we've, through trial and error, have built up a very good group of people who understand that and are buying into, our messaging for the most part, which is awesome. It's great to see because that's not always the case. I mean, I'm sure you've had troublemakers come into the league and then you had to kind of deal with them rather swiftly as well.
That happened very recently for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It happens and it's tough and there's some times where it can come down to one troublemaker is part of a team and you got to kick out a team because of one person just kind of being a knucklehead. But it's you got to look at it at the end of the day. It's for the betterment of the league.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just, you got to, I mean, you can't make an omelet without breaking a couple eggs, I guess.
Yep.
Just make sure the eggs are fresh, I guess.
I mean, they got cartons of eggs and like all, you can liquid eggs. So maybe that saying's a little bit old at this point with all the new things. But yes, we get the point. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we actually take the time and look at each person's profile before allowing them to join as well, just to make sure their incidents per race are within a certain level. Their iRating is where we would like to see it, and their safety rating isn't in the tank too, although mine's kind of in the tank right now. I gotta work on that.
Uh-oh.
So you're threat of getting kicked out of your own league here?
So, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Spa was not nice to us. It was it was tough sledding at best. And I dropped, I think, 1.4 safety rating that race.
Nice. I mean, if you're gonna go, just go for it at that point. Yeah. and I can't really talk too loud because I think it wasn't this year, but I want to say last year, the year before. I forget what race it was. If it was in a league race or I think it actually was a league race. I got to a point where I think I finished with like 76x in like an hour-long race just because I got tired of the off-track, so I just kept getting them at that point. So I feel you. I feel you on Spa. I mean, Spa, but then again, Spa is one of those tracks where you look at the side of the road and it gives you an X. So it's tough.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that and it rained the entire time for us too, right? So
exactly.
It was, and I hate the rain. I am not a fan of it. I do it for
You're driving a Kraken and you hate getting wet. I don't know about
that. That's fair enough. I know I'm doing it more for the run. I'm going to be honest.
Listen, maybe add a little umbrella on the hood for next season in case it rains. There you go.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah.
All right, well, speaking of next season, season 10 seasons is an accomplishment in itself. But what do we have to look forward to?
So we're not making any real big changes. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. But there are some small changes coming down the pipe, like how we handle our demerit points and such. I can't get into everything. Just we're trying to keep everything a little bit under wraps and roll it out so that it's a surprise to everybody. But there's some changes in there that I think everybody's going to like, and it's going to drive competition a little bit. more, I think. So.
All right. What about tracks and schedule? What are we looking at for next season in regards to that?
So tracks were now it's preliminary at this point, but I believe we are following the GT3 schedule for next season.
Okay.
As well, it's either GT3 or IMSA. We decide between the two. But our first race next season looks like it's going to be Monza at this point.
Awesome.
So.
I'm sure that'll make
be fun.
That'll make about half the guys happy and the other half just cringing already, thinking about turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just make them do the combined. Just rip off the Band-Aid, make them do the combined, and here you go. Yeah. You want to bitch about Monza? Now you can bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, other than turn 1, I really like that track personally, but turn 1 and 2 are a bit dicey for lap 1 for sure. I've definitely seen some incidents there when we've run races there in the past. So.
Well, listen, I expect nothing but the best from you guys. You guys have been awesome to broadcast for these last few seasons. Certainly looking forward to it if we can make all the ducks in a row here and make it for season 10. We're like me and Joe said multiple times, even if we're not a part of it at any point, we'll be tuning in to take a look and see how you guys are doing.
Well, I can, if you guys will be a part of it, we will certainly have you, and we can get all of that squared away whenever you like.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, me and Joe have had too good a time here on Wednesdays. Maybe too good at sometimes. But listen, we're just happy we're not out there on the track. At least I am, and I know Joe's getting his feet wet with the road racing, but it's too fun up here in the booth.
Based on my season, Joe, if you want to trade positions at any point, just let me know.
Well, maybe if we talk to the admins, the admins may want that as well.
Yeah, they might. Very well. All right, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
As always.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to
Jim.
season 10 already.
Yep.
Thank you for an amazing season here. And yeah, congrats to everything. And hopefully, maybe you get a little more practice in for next season. Take some time
Absolutely.
and take some time away from the admin booth. You got plenty of admins in there now. You need to step away for a night, get a little practice in.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks, guys.
That is Mr. Jim Dutton, the man behind the curtain here at CSRL. And again, if you're looking to get into some great racing in a great league here, this is the place to do it. And check in with me, Joe, with Jim, with any of these drivers out here and get yourself in here. But that is going to put a bow, and tie this thing together here for the season here of season 9. It was another great one out here, and I had an absolute blast, and I'm already looking forward to season 10 and everything else that CSRL has to offer. Thank you for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe and give these guys their due. They certainly earned it, and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. But for Joe Sullivan and myself, Carl Handwork here at the Misano World Circuit, we'll see you at the track.